The American dream started off as an immigrant's dream. America would not be what it is today without the influence of immigrants. Immigrants came to America with the hope of a new beginning. Many saw the freedom and opportunity that was available and decided to make their way to America, leaving friends and family behind. People came with very little things and money to begin their fresh start. They were making sacrifices to be able to help their families and give them better opportunities. Immigrants would be able to work their way from the ground up and not be restricted due to their social status. There were no major leaders or major restrictions stopping them. They had this belief that they could achieve anything they put their minds to. Immigrants came to this country knowing what they have to do to succeed. Work hard. Many Americans born in this country have this feeling of entitlement because they were born with the rights and freedoms that we are given today. Immigrants come to America knowing that they won't be able to help themselves or their families if they do not put in the work. Being born in America can make us forget at times how lucky we are to be born here. We have rights and freedom that many places do not have. The American dream comes in all shapes and sizes. You can become what you want to be, but that is up to you. America provides you with the tools to become successful, but you must put in the work to make something great of yourself. According to CNN, minorities do still have more belief in the American dream than Americans do. Minorities feel they have better opportunity in America than their native country due to the freedom they have, even if they must work harder to get to the top. To understand more about this difficulty, we spoke with Mr. Rios on what his take was of the American dream.
Mr. Rios, when did you come to the United States?
When I was like 18 years old.
From where?
From Guadalajara, Mexico.
So as an immigrant in America, did you find it hard to succeed?
Very hard.
Can you list some of the struggles?
First is the language barrier. Second is finding ways to get help. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can help you the same way where you don't have, for example, it's easier for teachers and counselors to help you when they know where you come from. For example, if you know, oh, I went to this school versus not knowing what school you come from. I had to search for help, and also my grandparents or my parents didn't know different schools or different ways where I could succeed, so I had to find all of that myself.
Do you think it's harder as a young person moving here or as an older person that's has a family?
I think it depends. It was easier for me as a kid because I was able to adjust easier, but I can see the struggle as an adult and having family. For me, it was easier.
And overall, do you think the American dream is still alive?
That's a loaded question. It depends. It depends what is the American dream for you.
What is the American dream for you?
The American dream for me will be to be healthy and to be successful in what I love to do. So being that I'm able to teach what I like and to offer what I know, that will be the American dream for me. It has little to do with money.
Fellow Bishop Lynch student TJ Salazar is the son of two immigrants from Latin America. TJ's parents arrived in Dallas, Texas in 1982 from Sinaloa, Mexico. They both got jobs in order to be able to attend college. Mr. Salazar worked long and late night shifts as a waiter while Mrs. Salazar cleaned houses 7 days a week. Eventually, they both attended SMU College and received degrees in communications and Spanish language. As the principal of Bishop Lynch, Dr. Riley is in charge of keeping the American dream alive by arming young citizens with knowledge. Tony asked Dr. Riley what the American dream means to him and how he helps carry on the tradition of this long fabled dream.
For me, I think the best way to explain the American dream is opportunity. When people come to the United States or historically have come to the United States, they have come seeking opportunity for a better life. And those things are enshrined in our Constitution. And the Constitution really is about giving people the opportunity to, as we would say here at Bishop Lynch, to become the best versions of themselves. And there's lots of ways that happens in a civic context that's enabled by the Constitution. But really, for me, when I think of the American dream, it is about opportunity in all areas of life. And so, and history supports that idea as well.
So, as an educator, how do you help children achieve the American dream?
I think my main role as an educator and as the principal of a high school is to provide an environment where students can learn at high levels so they can function in the world at a high level and be competent in a variety of fields. So we want to train people to think and train people to problem solve and train people to think at a deep level and also to think independently and in a creative manner. And so, and part of that formation also includes formation in character and formation in service to others. And so it's not just about giving people the tools, it's also about giving them the direction. What should people do with those tools? Once you are competently trained, I think part of our responsibility as an educator is to show people how to use those in the service of other human beings. And so really, it's about the tools, but it's also about the direction and the mission. How do we use those tools?
Does the education system in the United States help people succeed in our country?
I think we have a phenomenal education system in the United States. We have a long history of that. If you look at the history of education going back to the 1950s, there was a big change in the way education worked in this country. When the Russians launched Sputnik, that created a large emphasis on math and science in the United States. And so since then, we have really recognized the importance of education to advance the dreams and the goals of the country. And so I think education is an important part of that process and really plays a crucial role in allowing students to not only learn what the American dream is, but to gather the tools and the knowledge and the sense of mission to achieve the American dream.
Is monetary wealth a good goal to have when chasing the American dream?
I would say monetary value, seeking finances, should not be the goal. Money really is the means to an end. And we have numerous examples in the Gospels, especially, where we see that money should not be an end in and of itself. And the reason for that is because we know that our wealth and our temporal resources can change. And if that's a goal, then it's easy to feel like a failure when we haven't achieved some arbitrary number. I think that the goal should be higher and money should be the means to that end. Goals of providing a happy life for our families or contributing to the common good of society or providing an opportunity for others to achieve their dream. Those are goals. Those things require money. So that's why I say money is a means to an end. Money allows those things to happen. And there's nothing wrong with trying to create a situation where you increase the amount of money that you earn, because those increases allow you to do more good for more people. It's when money becomes an end in and of itself when I think that can lead to a life of unhappiness.
So obviously, like, there's disadvantages for people with different ethnicities or race. How can we help that in America?
I think that has to be a multi-pronged approach. I don't think that there's any one solution that helps address the issues of inequity, which is rooted in history. And so I think we have to have a social awareness of that, and we have to be willing to take on civic responsibilities to create just and equitable opportunities for all. I think it's important to recognize that historically that is there, and research would show that. But it can't be depending just solely on creating those opportunities artificially, because the genius of the American system is allowing for creativity. And so for me, I think the most important thing to do is providing the environment and the context where people can thrive, where people can exercise their creativity and ingenuity. And so that does require some structures in place, but that also is a mindset. And I think that's where the education system can really make an important contribution, is we can create that growth mindset and acknowledge people's ingenuity and the need to demonstrate creativity in not only assisting people in achieving the American dream, but to help them individually in the accomplishment of their individual dreams, and to be able to earn the temporal resources, the money, the finances that they need to lead successful and productive lives. So I think I don't know that there's any one solution that I would advocate for. I think, but my perspective as an educator is that it's important for us to provide the spaces where the learning and the creativity can occur. That's really my focus and my role. And even if you look at the history of business and the laws that are around business, I think that's an example of why we do those kinds of things.
Overall, the American dream may be dead in certain people's opinions, but one thing is certain: minorities are still chasing the dream, which is still alive and well for them. At the moment, unemployment rate for minorities is the best it's ever been, along with their yearly income per capita. The United States of America is continuously helping more and more people earn their wealth/success, which ultimately satisfies the American dream.